Okay. What is going on, LBHT Crew B? What's going on?
No more Saints games, so it's clear sailing from here for Carolina. So feeling pretty good.
That's your secret weapon. You don't have to play them anymore. So watch out, league.
That's right. They suck against the bad teams. They're great against the good ones.
Yeah. So it's smooth sailing from here on out.
And some of you might be saying, "Oh, but wait, they got blown out by New England and Buffalo." But let me tell you a secret about New England and Buffalo.
Something they don't want you to know. All right, y'all. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit that like button, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're listening to the audio form of this, we put this out on Thursday at lunchtime. So we hope you're enjoying your lunch break. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review because we're trying to grow over there. We're trying to grow on those side of things. Who we got in the chat early, man, and appreciate to you guys that are coming to the morning streams. Okay, the morning streams start at 6:15 a.m. Myself and Hendo have been doing that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and y'all really been showing up. We appreciate the support. So, and y'all come back here for the night stream. Really appreciate that. Bazel's in here. He said, "I've been here before." First, that's right. Salute, Bazel. Salute to you. Appreciate you coming through. Just Aloe's in the house. It's good evening, LBHT crew. Rams fans, get ready. Josh Allen's about to steal another MVP.
They're cranking up the hype machine.
Yeah. You know what? Whatever. You can have it. There you go. Right on time. Kwame said he can have it. You can have it. Whatever. Chi-Town salute says, hope not. Hey, they're trying. They're trying. Urban salute. Good morning. Not good morning. See, I'm in a morning mood. Good evening. You didn't even catch that. Good evening. Garrison, good evening. Salute. Thanks for coming through. We got Go-Man in the house. What's up, Go-Man? Go-Man. Yo, listen. Man? Go-Man he's hyped, man. He's hyped. And shout out to Go-Man because Go-Man comes to every morning stream and he comes with that positivity every morning. Nice. Every morning. Appreciate you. DEI MVP.
I'll be a second.
Chemo, good morning. No, good morning. See, I did it again. I'm in the morning mood. Salute. Salute. It was
that's disgusting. Just keep it moving.
I know. Noah salute says, what up, LBHT crew? Happy retirement to John Cena. Yeah. And we got our awesome producer in the house. Adelia says, hey, everyone. Hello to you, Adelia. Oh, we got a super chat. I like this. We started off right. Masabi?
It's just realized that the Steelers don't need to win their next 2 games, only need to beat the Ravens, and they're in the playoffs.
Yep. But guess what? All we have to do is just win.
Yeah.
All right. If they don't win the next 2 games, they that puts less pressure on the Ravens to win the next 2 games. Right? Like the Steelers if the Steelers win the next 2 and we lose and we drop one of these, then we're in trouble, right? And not necessarily mean we're out the playoffs. It means we can't win the division. It really depends on what the Colts do. I think the Colts are ahead of us. So
yeah, but they're not in either. Like Baltimore, they need to win the division. Essentially, again, it's not impossible for them to get a wild card, but
the
division.
Yeah. Thank you, Urban. He says, "Good morning, Jose and Brodny."
Don't do that. Don't do that, Urban.
Appreciate the super chat.
Yes, thank you.
Masabi. I think it's Masabi. I'm gonna say that's what it is. All right. We're gonna get into it. We have both of our teams in the same predicament. Okay. We had some disappointing losses but everything is still under our control. All right. If we want to get in for both of our teams, then you just have to win.
Mhm.
Is it easy? No. But we put ourselves in this predicament. And if you're a playoff team, you do what you have to do to get in. Oh, and we got another super chat. Thank you from Masabi again. If we're saying it wrong, please let us know.
Says also really want Lamar to win a ring. If he left the Ravens, which ready to win now team without a quarterback, can he push over the line? I think the Vikings. The Vikings for sure. Yes, thank you very much. Vikings for sure. Miami. I think you can push them across the line there. The easy one is San Francisco.
Yes.
You know, Brock Purdy ain't that guy. So he goes to San Francisco. They're the Colts as well. I think the Colts. Who knows what's going to happen with Daniel Jones this offseason? He's a free agent, so we'll see.
Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, we actually, when he was a free agent, we were talking about what teams could possibly go after him, and then we did a video about the teams that were out on him early and instantly regretted it. One of them was the Falcons.
Yeah,
and I believe, didn't the Falcons make a rap song about how terrible the organization was?
Well, somebody did, not the Falcons.
Well, not the Falcons. I'm sorry, not the Falcons. The Falcons,
the
fans.
rapper did.
Yeah. They weren't happy about that. Them coming right out saying we're out on Lamar Jackson. They're like, yo, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. I don't know why y'all are saying Miami's not ready to win. They're 6-8 without a quarterback. This is the same kind of logic that said Tampa Bay wasn't ready to win, and then they got Tom Brady and won a Super Bowl.
So I mean, they got Devon Achane, they got Jalen Waddle, they got Darren Waller sometimes. And I think a solid O-line. I think O-line is solid. Look, we know it's better than ours. The O-line is better than ours. Yeah, I think they have an offensive-minded coach. He knows how to run offense. They got a pretty solid defense. I think they have, they're missing a Lamar Jackson. I think we don't realize, even now, we should, just how bad the Ravens are. The Ravens are a bad team. If Tua had to play on this team, I mean, even with Lamar not healthy, we're borderline playoff team. We're still fighting, but let an average quarterback come over here.
Yeah,
right. Like this team is not good. A team like that has some actual talent on it. Yeah, Lamar can take them to the Super Bowl 100%. What's going on, Killer? Says Ola Jose.
The Chiefs.
How?
The Chiefs.
Yeah. Gusto Brodny.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Is Tyreek coming back though? I don't know. Even without Tyreek Hill, I mean, I take Jalen Waddle over any wide receiver we have on our team.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, that's where we're at with this. That's what we keep saying. Defund the defense, invest in the offense, because there's not a big investment in our offense. Not at all. And it wouldn't take much. It literally wouldn't take much to really make a huge impact on that side of the ball, and they still won't do it. Shout out to Danny. Appreciate you, Danny. Says, welcome to the chat, kings and queens. Ravens didn't get any luck from the Dolphins, but the guys are still here every week. Yes. Hit the like and subscribe button as you enter. # road to 3K. Cash App, $ LBHT Show. Thank you, Danny. As always, we are close to 3,000. Hannah was pointing it out this morning. You guys have really been supporting this channel. We really appreciate that. I believe we're going to hit 3,000 here fairly soon. But spread the word. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Tell your friends and loved ones to subscribe. We reading.
Also, we're talking about the Florio piece on Lamar potentially leaving. No, we just got a question in a super chat about where he would be able to push a team over the line to be a Super Bowl contender or a Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, I didn't see that piece on Florio. The only way he's going to leave is if he requests a trade. He's not up. His contract isn't up, and he has a no trade clause. So they can't really, even if they wanted to move on from him, they can't move on from him unless he says, "I want to leave." All right. And thank you. She says, "Morning shows is amazing." It's actually 6:50. It was 6:30. It was 6:30 at first, and then I had to push it back because
y'all talk too much.
Yes, we weren't sticking. We weren't honoring the 15 minutes like we promised. So we were like, all right, I had to be at the house by a certain time. And if we're going to be talking a little bit longer, then we just got to get up a little earlier. But it's working out. 6:15 a.m. Yeah. All right, man. You guys are ready to talk. You guys are ready to talk about this. All right. So we're going to get to it. We're going to get into it. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B and Akole have a Black History fact for you.
This week on the LBHT Black History Fact. In 1871, the Fisk Jubilee Singers, a pioneering African-American a cappella group from Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, set out on a fundraising tour to support their struggling school. At the time, Fisk was a newly founded institution dedicated to educating freedmen and their children, but it faced severe financial challenges. The students who formed the Jubilee Singers carried with them something more powerful than money: the spirituals they had grown up hearing in their communities. These songs, born in slavery, carried coded messages of survival, liberation, and faith. Among the pieces they performed was "Go Tell It on the Mountain," a spiritual that would eventually become one of the most enduring Christmas anthems in America. For enslaved people, the song's message, proclaiming good news, was not only about the birth of Christ, but also about freedom and deliverance from oppression. When the Jubilee Singers introduced it to audiences across the United States and Europe, they transformed it from a regional folk tradition into a global hymn of hope. The group's tours were groundbreaking. They performed for packed halls, for royalty in England, and even for dignitaries who had never before heard African-American spirituals performed in concert settings. Their artistry challenged stereotypes, showing the world that Black music was not only deeply spiritual, but also sophisticated and worthy of preservation. The funds they raised saved Fisk University, ensuring its survival as a center of Black education. The legacy of the Jubilee Singers is inseparable from Christmas history. By popularizing "Go Tell It on the Mountain" and other spirituals, they embedded African-American voices into the fabric of holiday traditions. What began as songs of struggle and coded resistance became carols of joy, resilience, and cultural pride. Today, when families sing "Go Tell It on the Mountain" during Christmas, they are echoing a tradition that connects the celebration of Christ's birth with the broader story of liberation and perseverance in Black history.
Salute to the Black History fact. All right. And B said, I'm out of here. All right. I mean, all right, we'll pick right back up where we left off with Ravens Talk, because they really want to get into it. All right. Kimo says, can't believe Lamar asking for a trade is even an option. How do you do everything but surround your best player with everything he needs to be successful? Best QB in Baltimore. Yeah, that's very frustrating. He's shown you for 8 years now that he's the person that you need to surround your talent around. He's the one that's carrying the team. He's going to be the reason why you win the Super Bowl or not. and you say, let's go on the other side and try to show up this defense, and you haven't done that either.
Yeah. That's the worst part about it to me. It's like you're going away from the traditional way you would build a team, right? Which, that's the Ravens thing. You say blah, blah, blah. But you're not even doing a good job of that, right? You haven't built the O-line to be a power run team, to be a ball control team, and you haven't built the defense to stop, to shut down other offenses. So the question then becomes, what are you doing? Like the quote, what is it you say you do here? Nothing. Well, because you didn't bring in Lamar. Right. You're just kind of riding Lamar's coattails and seeing how long you can drag this out and keep your job without actually being good at it.
And that's what's going on here. And we'll get into this weekend's matchup in a second. But I want to go all the way back to the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, right? Because we look at that game. The thing that sticks out in everybody's mind is Lamar didn't do enough. He didn't run. He had a bad turnover. He just didn't do enough to win the game. Mm-hmm. And you and I said the defense didn't do enough to win the game, right? And people argue, oh well, they held him to what was it, 18 points or whatever 17. It was. We held him 17 points. Defense did enough. No. How many turnovers did defense get? Right. They got 2 turnovers on us. How many did we get on them? 1 turnover could have helped us out in that game. Mm-hmm. They didn't do that. And that was probably the best our defense has ever been in the Lamar Jackson era, right? I think we're number 2 overall defense. And look, I just want to tell y'all this, man. Like, that defense wasn't anything special. Right. Good defense, very good defense, but they weren't anything special. And all the draft picks, all the money that they poured on that side, they're supposed to be a special defense. And they didn't make timely stops. They didn't force turnovers. And that's why we didn't make it to the Super Bowl. That was our year to win it. Now, when Philly went and dominated them last year, they were special. They did what they had to do. They got turnovers. They were getting sacks. They were doing the things that they needed to do to give the offense multiple opportunities. And we keep expecting our offense to be special because that's why we blame Lamar in these losses, because during the season, the offense looks special.
Yeah.
The offense looks like they can't be stopped. And we get to the playoffs and they're not doing what they were doing in the regular season. It's like, well, why aren't you doing that? Right? The expectation is higher for the offense, but there's no investment in the offense.
Right. You look at it and that'll happen in the regular season because you're not I don't want to say the teams aren't preparing every week. Obviously they're preparing, but you're not, going 150% in and giving every single week your best shot in the regular season. Right.
Yeah.
And you're putting everything you have into the playoffs. The same thing happened with Carolina. They had the best offense in the league in 2015. Looked unstoppable. Cam was MVP. And then you get to the playoffs and you play a great defense and you realize, oh, that is Ted Ginn out there. And that is
yeah.
And then and Jonathan Stewart gets hurt on the first drive and like, oh, that is fat Mike Tolbert. Like, nobody's scared of any of these guys. And it's the same thing in Baltimore. You get into the playoffs and Lamar's looking around and he's like, well, where are all these alleged killers I had in the regular season? Where's Mark Andrews at? He ain't catching passes. Where's Rashad Bateman at? Where's Zay at? Fumbling the ball. But you don't have those guys who are going to get into the playoffs and step their game up. And that's what other teams do, and that's how you get to the Super Bowl. So
yeah.
Enough like that in the comments.
Oh, wait, you sounded muffled for a second. Repeat that last part.
I was thinking that, but they don't invest in the offense like that, and so you don't get those kind of performances out of the offense in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, we handled business against the Bengals. They did what they needed to do. They blanked them, and they have to go out there and have another performance like that against the Patriots. We talked about that yesterday on Coach's channel on the Ravens Roundup, right? What do they need to do for us to instill confidence in them again, right? Roquan Smith had a quote out there saying like he wanted to be that, that defense that people like, fear again. And I said, okay, there's time. Even as the season's winding down, even as bad as they played, there's still time for that, right? They started out well by blanking the Bengals. If they go out there and beat the will out of the Patriots, that'll start turning heads. If they go out to Green Bay and they give them a physical game and beat them in Green Bay, that'll turn some heads. And then you go into Pittsburgh and finish it off and knock them out the playoffs. Going into the playoffs, teams are going to be looking at Baltimore like, man, I don't think I want to play them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like if you say that's what you want to be, then you need to go out there and do it. There is still time for that to happen. As bad as you've played, as bad as the defense is, and make no mistake, this is a bad defense, right? Until proven otherwise. One game doesn't turn things around, but you can turn it around over these next 3 games for sure. For sure. So, now the Patriots, they're a pretty good team. They're a pretty good team. How good? I think they're slightly overrated. I don't think they're a dominant team. Well, I mean, they showed it on Sunday, but they're a well-coached team. They execute well. And they have some good young talent. The Ravens are a 3-point favorite. B, I know you said that the Ravens will probably lose this game, but beat them in the playoffs. I think we beat them.
Okay. I think that if the coach in New England does his job and gives the ball to Travion Henderson, Baltimore loses, because I don't think that they'll be able to stop Travion. But like I said, I do think that if they saw them in the playoffs, it'd be a whole different story. But next week, I gotta give the edge to New England.
You get to New England just because of Travion? I think they can stop Travion Henderson.
I don't think they can stop Travion Henderson, but not just because of him, because they have a very solid defense as well. They have a couple of running backs actually that can move the ball, but Travion is that home run hitter. Like I said, he had 2 touchdown runs over 50 yards against Buffalo last week. He's a guy that once he gets into space, he's very, very, very difficult to stop. Drake May has been a very efficient player.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
Why'd you say it like that?
I don't want to go overboard with the praise on it. I don't think he's great, but he's played well enough. He's not turning the ball over a ton, and he's not making a lot of mistakes that you would see younger quarterbacks typically make. So I mean, he's playing well. The guy I don't think that Baltimore, like you said, that New England is well coached and disciplined. And those are 2 things that do not describe Baltimore.
Nope.
And that's why I think that they lose these kind of games.
Yeah, but if they put it together like they did last week, they had those games where they're just like, all right, we're just going we're just gonna have a run, we're just gonna lock in. Right. We understand where we need to be on the field. We're gonna be there. We're gonna force turnovers. We're gonna get to the quarterback. They do those things to disrupt, because what the best way to beat a team like that, a young team that is disciplined, the best way to beat them is to disrupt what they do. Force them to make mistakes, and because they haven't been put in that position for most of the year, they don't know how to adjust to that, right? And that's one of the things that Harbaugh teams have been pretty good at is winning ugly. And this goes back to the Joe Flacco days, right? When there's chaos, we can thrive. If we can make it ugly for the other team, we can thrive because we play ugly, we play undisciplined, right? But we live in the mud, so we can come out of that. So I think the Patriots, I don't think if we make it a physical game, like last week for y'all, when you had all those flags and everything against New Orleans, it just kind of threw you off your game a little bit. If we make it like that, that's going to be difficult for the Patriots to.
Let me tell you what happens in a physical game with Baltimore. All right, a physical game with Baltimore. Travion Henderson runs over, through, and around that D line that you have because they're not good.
Think so.
Because they're not good.
They are
but
good.
The D line in Baltimore is
where are they ranked run defense? They're not bad against the run. I don't think he's running through Travis Jones and Tavius Robinson.
But I think that your run defense ranking doesn't necessarily mean that your defensive line is good. I mean, I don't think that they're a very good unit. They don't have any depth. And then on the other side, in a physical game, Daniel Falalele and Andrew Voorhees spend roughly, let's say they split time of possession. Let's say they split at 30-30. They spend 29 and a half minutes on their back in a physical game. And then Lamar's running for his life. I think that
whether it's physical game or not, they're going to have to scheme around that. Like we know at this point that's what's going to happen with the guards. We know that. How well can we scheme around that? How much do we commit to running? Because even with as bad as they are, if they commit to giving the ball to Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry's going to break for some big runs, and he will against them too, because they can be run on. They've shown that.
Yeah, no, but my thing with Baltimore is you're talking about them still, and this is a natural thing we did with the Chiefs as well. We're talking about expectations that we had coming into the season, right? Mm-hmm. Not what they've shown us this year, because the reality is they're a 7-7 team and their best win is against Chicago.
Yeah,
like there's no real reason to think this team is going to go out there and beat New England and Green Bay back-to-back weeks. They haven't been that team, but right. we thought prior to the season this is one of the best teams in the league. And you know what? Sure. To be fair, we thought through 3 quarters in week 1 this was the best team in the league. You're still kind of holding on to that. You're like, oh well, if they get it all together, they'll still be that team that we thought that they were. But you know what, man, it's just not who they are, right? So I'm going to look at a team that's, hasn't beaten anybody of note, really. Chicago's a good team, not a great team, and they're an up and down team. And I'm going to say that they don't get it done against the top teams in the league. Some of the top teams in the league,
Yeah, like I hear you on that. But what's a top team? Like you say, Chicago's up and down. So the Patriots, like like the
Patriots. The Patriots have won 10 in a row.
Yeah, against who?
I guess, but that's the thing. You're not down though. They don't lose to teams they shouldn't lose to. They beat those, even if they. I guess it is. Yeah, they just lost their winning streak this past week. But I think even in weeks where they don't perform, they win the game. Right.
Like I know it was early in the season, but they start out losing to the Raiders and they lost to the Steelers, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, they started off 1-2 and then they won 9 or 10 in a row, however many it was.
Yeah.
Like the Ravens aren't that kind of team, right? That when they go out there and they play poorly. I mean, they played poorly on Thanksgiving. They got blown out. They played poorly 2 weeks ago against the Steelers and they lost. Right? They don't win games where they're not playing well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The Patriots do, and I just don't. I don't see them. All of a sudden putting it all together because they beat Cincinnati.
Well, I'm not saying just because off of that game, right? Mm-hmm. It really depends. Is Lamar getting healthier? Is he getting more comfortable out there? Right? It all hinges on that. It all hinges on Lamar's performance. It hinges on, is the defense able to create some turnovers, right? Because that's really all it is. A lot of these games that we lose, if the defense would create some turnovers in those games, like because all those games you talking about that we lost to, we created no turnovers. Mm-hmm. If we get some turnovers on Thanksgiving night, as bad as we played, we probably beat the Bengals. If we get turnovers in that Steelers game, we definitely win that game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, if the Jets had intercepted some passes, Steve Wilkes would still have a job, but they don't. So he got fired.
Yeah. No, I understand.
This is kind of who they are. Is that they don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm saying like I'm not just basing it all off of that Cincinnati game. I'm just saying if they can continue to do this moving forward, right? Like getting Tavius Robinson back helps. Getting Ardarius Washington back helps. You know, just for if for nothing else, you have a safety out there that knows where to be a little bit more than a lot more than our rookie does.
I was gonna say what you trying to say about Malachi right
now. Malachi needs more work. He needs more work. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
And to answer your question, Baltimore is a middle of the pack run defense.
Yeah, so
and New England is 5th in the league.
Okay.
Baltimore just by the slimmest of margins ahead of Carolina. They are back to back in run defense. So yeah, I think Travion, if he gives the ball to Travion, because Mike Vrabel outcoaches himself quite a bit.
Yes,
and they'll go away from Travion Henderson for long stretches. I think if they give him the ball, that's going to be trouble for Baltimore.
I don't think any team can just run on us like that. Like, you know, like I think the passing is our weakness, and that sets up the run for a lot of these teams. We focus on trying to stop the pass, but if you're going to that game like we're just going to run down your throat, I don't think that's going to work. But I don't think they're going to do that either. So, like, Ivy say what's going on, says I heard of having caviar taste on a spam budget, but our defense is spam on a caviar budget.
Unnecessary spam slander. All right. Thank you, Ivy Sam. Appreciate that.
We gotta get some stats in a second. Aofon says with a completely revamped O-line, does the receiver core we have now perform drastically better? I would say drastically better because not all the sacks, not all the things that happen with the O-line are on the O-line. Some of that is because the wide receivers aren't getting separation, you know. And also the play calling is wrong too. Like, you know, you don't have those type of wide receivers. Why aren't we calling plays to get the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands faster? Why are we doing screen passes and shorter routes? You know, we have a lot of long developing passing plays and we don't have the skill sets for those plays, right? So it's a mixture of things.
Yeah, I think that if the O-line was where it should be, you have more production out of the passing game.
Yes.
But that's because you'll just have more time, and it's just harder to cover guys for longer. These guys are who they are. Zay is I think he's a solid number one receiver. You know, he's not any kind of special receiver at this point, but he's a good, solid player there. Bateman, you know, he does a disappearing act every other week. You never know what you're going to get from Rashad Bateman. DeAndre Hopkins is, I mean, if we're being honest, he's a shell of himself. Not to say that he's worthless, but he's not the guy that he was, you know, in his prime, obviously. So he's not a guy that you can lean on. And the same thing with Tez Walker and Tylan Wallace. So they need to upgrade the talent in the wide receiver room still.
Yeah. Louisville Cardinals Ravens. I appreciate you coming through. Says, to be fair, we can beat New England and Green Bay. Yes, like, and there are no like top teams.
Anybody can beat anybody.
Anybody can be beat. But so can we.
Yeah.
like you know. But yes, we can. That's why I'm not even thinking about Green Bay right now. I'm just thinking about New England. Like, the Ravens haven't instilled enough confidence to be like, oh, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna blow them out. I'm a Ravens fan, so I have a little bias towards them, right? And yes, because just how much parity is in the league, and New England isn't like that. You know, they're not good like that. Yes, we can beat them at home, but the Ravens got to stop doing this. Those players got to stop doing this. They do a lot of talking, right, about what they want to be, what they can be. We know what we can do. We know we're better than this. Nah, man, you got to stop talking and get out there and start proving it.
Mm-hmm.
So one game at a time. So it starts with the Patriots. Yeah, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. Are you going to do it? And if you do it, then we can talk about Green Bay. And if you do it against Green Bay, now we're cooking. You know, you still got to beat the Steelers, but It's no more talking.
Green Bay is they're funny because they could be the best team in the league one day, and then they could be one of the worst teams in the league the next day.
Yeah.
And
What's up, Adrian? Says Ravens can beat anyone and lose to anyone. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. All right, let's get some stats going here. What we got to deal you?
Lamar Jackson has a 108.2 passer rating and 29 career primetime starts. I forgot this is a primetime game, right? It's Saturday night. So that changes the equation a little bit. No. This one's Saturday. Or is it Green Bay this Saturday?
Green Bay Saturday.
Oh, ridiculous.
It's Sunday.
That is a higher passer rating in primetime since the 1970 merger among all quarterbacks to make at least 20 primetime starts. So, yeah, this is just telling us what we already know. Lamar's a great player. Lamar plays great in big moments. And, it's kind of that's just who he is.
And even this year, outside of the Thanksgiving night game, he's played really well in other primetime losses. There's a defense that really was disastrous. So, he looks healthy. This might be a really big game for him. And the defense just has to do their part.
Next up, Drake May. Drake May's 109.1 passer rating is the third highest by any player in their age 23 or younger season in NFL history. He trails only Patrick Mahomes in 2018 MVP season and Lamar Jackson in his 2019 MVP season. So MVP Drake May, sounds like.
There you go. You mean Josh Allen?
Right. Anything, they scream MVP. Like, I swear to God, it's annoying. But yeah, Drake May, like I said, is playing very well. I still don't think he's on the level of Pat Mahomes in 2018 and Lamar in 2019, but he's getting it done every single week. And yes, people point out, they don't have a terribly difficult schedule, but they're all professional. It's not like a college bad schedule. They're all professional teams that he's playing against, and they are winning all those games. Well, not all of them, but the majority of those games.
The majority of them, yeah. All right, what else we got?
Derrick Henry and Travion Henderson. Derrick Henry and Travion Henderson are both tied for the NFL lead. Also, Devon Achane and Jahmyr Gibbs with 4 rushing touchdowns of at least 25 yards in 2025. Each of Henderson's have come from at least 50 yards, which are tied for the most rushing touchdowns of at least 50 yards by a rookie in NFL history. So, yeah, explosive run games on both sides of the ball. And then you would think you wouldn't have to ask this of coaches, but are you going to give the ball to your running back? You would never think you have to ask that of conservative coaches. But in both cases here, you have to ask, are you going to give it to Derrick? Are you going to give it to Travion? It's a ridiculous question to have to ask. The answer should be a resounding yes in both cases, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
And last up, the Patriots defense. They have the worst red zone defense in the NFL in 2025, allowing a touchdown on 75% of their opponents' red zone drives. The Patriots' 19.7 points per game allowed are the fewest by any team to allow a touchdown on at least 70% of opponent red zone drives in a season since 2000, which says to me that the key for the New England Patriots is beating Daniel Falalele and Andrew Voorhees and getting some sacks and keeping you out of the red zone.
Yeah. And key for us is getting to the red zone.
Yeah. So, that's if you can get there, obviously you have a great chance of scoring, but it's tough to get there.
Oh yeah. And again, these are the games that I'm not worried about. If we are as good as we keep talking about, if we're better than what we performed, then now's the time to show it.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're more like the team that played the first 3 quarters against the Bills in week 1, if that's truly more like what we are, and they believe that, there should be no issue Sunday night, right? There shouldn't be any problem. You get it done.
Yeah, if that's who they really are, the team that played the first 3 quarters against Buffalo, if that's their true form, then they walk to the Super Bowl. Like, there's nobody in the AFC that can compete with that team. But I don't think that's who they really are.
Yeah. What's going on? He says, Amp says, Zay Flowers should have 125 yards a game. Easy. The coordinator doesn't stick to what works. Well, to be fair, when Zay Flowers keeps every time he drops a pass, it turns into an interception. And I get a little nervous call plays for him as well. Last game, that was really bad. He had a catch that hit him right in the chest, bounced up, interception. He had another touchdown pass that he couldn't reel in. He is hot and cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I agree, he's the most talented wide receiver. You want to keep feeding him the ball, but man, sometimes he's a liability.
And just for context, 125 easy. There has been one season in NFL history of a receiver having over 125 yards a game.
Who was that? Calvin Johnson?
No, Wes Chandler in 1982 for the San Diego Chargers.
Wow.
129 yards per game. Number 2 is 124.7 Charlie Hennigan in 1961. So no, not easy. That's not an easy thing to do.
But he should be performing better for sure. Yeah. DJM for sure. They didn't play with Lamar Jackson though. There you go. Touche.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's true.
Also, Michael Smith says, "Hey guys, John Harbaugh has Thanos-like arrogance." Yeah,
but I would no, that's not true. Thanos earned his. To answer your question, Calvin Johnson was 4th all time at 122.8 in 2012.
Okay. I was going to post this earlier. I didn't clip it. I'm going to do it right now while we're talking. I'm surprised nobody brought this up, man. You guys are slipping a little bit. I was certain somebody in the chat was going to bring this up. Hold on. I'll bring it up right now. If I come back to my page, I'm surprised y'all didn't talk about this. Matt Judon has been released from the Dolphins. He's going on waivers. Bring him home. What you don't see here is a quote tweet that I pulled this from that says Matt Judon has no sacks on the season.
Which, if we use the edge rusher arithmetic that we've all learned over the last several years, that would mean that in Baltimore he would have -5. Maybe y'all should have just kept Oweh.
Can you play O-line? Yeah. So I'm not sure if you saw the morning show, B, but we talked
Probably
about that.
Better than Falele. Yeah.
Oweh has been thriving.
Yeah,
in LA.
He's got 7 sacks now.
And they have one of the highest pressure rates with him, Khalil Mack, and the other guy that I can't pronounce his name. I butchered it like 3 different ways this morning.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I said it with so much confidence the first time. I was like, I got this. And I was like, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. I got to do some research on it. But Oweh has 7 sacks on the season. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, man. Me and B told you. Why did you waste a first round pick to get him, knowing that he needed development? We knew that. Just for him to develop and then say
Tuli Pulotu.
See, you already messed it up. Say it again.
No, Tuli Pulotu.
Tui Pulotu?
Yeah.
Okay, Tui Pulotu. I don't think that's one of the things I said. I think I said everything but that. But yeah, like this is his prime years, right? You're getting the best version of him starting now. Why wouldn't you re-sign him? Right? He wasn't going to break the bank, He
is now.
He gonna make some money.
Yeah,
but that's all right. But I mean, he deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
If he's a solid edge rusher, then you have to pay for that. It's a premium position. If you want a top tier edge rusher, you have to pay for that too. And we had a chance to get that. We could have been in the mix for Michael Parsons or what's his name went to Philly?
Jalen Phillips.
Jalen Phillips, right? Didn't want to do that either. So that's what I'm saying about this team. Like EDC lies to all of us about what kind of team he wants to build. You want a tough defense, but you want to pay for edge rushers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to run the ball, but except in the playoffs. You also don't really want to get a top tier running back either. Like, you got Derrick Henry when he was the most affordable to you, not because he was the best. You got him because you're like, well, now he's cheap enough. We didn't want to give up a third or a second round pick for him. He wasn't worth that to us. But now that he's on the street and we can get him for a solid deal, then we'll get him.
Yeah, and you want to build a soft O-line that can't open holes for Derrick Henry and can't protect Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's going on? Rave the Phantom says, how's it going, LBHT crew? What's going on with you? Thanks for coming through. All right. It said that game was awesome against the Bengals, but now this upcoming game against the Patriots will truly show if the Ravens are playoffs ready. Yeah, 100%. So we'll see. I'm going with the Ravens, but that's just me being a fan, right? I'm gonna go with me being a fan, and also just the fact that anybody can be beat. There is no boogie monster this year. Anybody can be beat.
Absolutely.
What's going on, Shug?
What up, Shug?
All right. B, the
Yes,
Panthers. They let one slip away last week, but the good news is there's no more Saints on your schedule.
Did they let one slip away, or did they have a flair for the dramatic? I think it's the latter. Honestly, we talked about it last week. What?
Real quick, yes, I would like to kick the ties on Breece Hall. I thought that's one of the players that you should have tried to trade for at trade deadline. Absolutely. I would love to have Breece Hall here. But yes, Panthers are always thinking. They say, hey man, let's just let them have that. And then
I told you it was they looked at it and they said it was too good of a story to have everybody clown them for losing Baker and Sam Darnold and say, oh, what a terrible organization. And now all they have left on their schedule is Baker and Sam Darnold. And they're like, we got to do it. We got to have it come down to just these 3 games.
This is quite the story. You had Baker Mayfield on your team. You had Sam Darnold on your team.
Trash.
And they were trash for you. Nobody was mad that you let those guys go. But now they are franchise QBs for their respective teams. And the Buccaneers started out hot, but they've cooled off since. The Seahawks, they've been steady all year round. They're a pretty good team. Now it's coming down to, can you beat the outcasts,
the ghosts of Christmas past?
Can you do it? Tampa Bay is looking very, very promising right now. Yes. They look like they're ready to go ahead and head out. Seahawks, they're trying to win something.
But luckily for Carolina, they don't have to beat Seattle. So I threw that in there just because it fits the narrative and it's the game in the middle. But they don't actually have to win that one. They only have to beat Tampa Bay.
They don't have to, but those are exactly the games that they win.
Yeah, no, for sure. But in terms of them winning the division and making the playoffs, that game doesn't actually doesn't really move the needle. It's just the games against Tampa. They have to win those 2. And like you said, Tampa Bay, I don't know what happened to them. I don't know who hurt them, but they are not the team that they were in the first 6 weeks of the season. Baker Mayfield is not playing nearly as well. The defense is not playing nearly as well. They got healthy. I thought that was, I thought maybe that was it, right? They were missing Bucky Irvin. They were missing Mike Evans. They were missing Jalen McMillan. They were missing Tristan Wirfs. They got everybody back except Tristan. I think he's coming back this week, maybe. Not 100% sure on that. And they were just as bad. So, Bucky is still working his way into it. Mike Evans had a great game against the Saints. Didn't matter. They look like just a broken team. They look like they've just lost their way. Their coach was kind of calling them out publicly. And I don't know. I think that Carolina is catching them at the right time. It seemed like it was setting up for them to be 100% healthy and back to being who they were, and it was going to be a much more difficult game. But it just looks like they, like you said, they kind of phoned it in, and they're like, whatever, man. Like we had it in our hands, and now it's gone, and the season's over. That's how they look. It's not true, obviously. If they win one of these two games, they win the division. But they just don't look like a team that is mentally into it.
Yeah. I mean, look, similar to when the Ravens played the Bengals last week, you had Joe Burrow just kind of like, I don't know if I'm having fun anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Like the Buccaneers are giving off that kind of vibe, and I don't know why. Like they play with high energy all year, and something's going on where it's just like they look like they're ready to go home. I think because you play them this week in when the
last game of the season.
Yeah. I feel like if you guys go all in and beat them this week, they don't show up the last week.
Oh, I'm 100% sure they won't. If they lose to Carolina this week, they will quit.
Yeah, and they won't be out of it because they have to win, because Carolina has to beat them twice.
Yeah.
So it's not even like if Tampa, they can afford to lose this game and still win a division. But I feel like if they lose this one, they're not gonna be around for the last one. They're not. They'll be mentally checked out.
Yeah, I think so. They don't seem like a team that really wants it to me.
Press Star 410 says Todd Bowles will be available if Tampa misses the playoffs. He can stay available. I think him as a defensive coordinator.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he hasn't even done a bad job.
No.
It's just, they've won the division 3 years in a row. It's not a great division, obviously, but they've won it 3 years in a row. There's no reason that he should be on the hot seat this season after 1 year. And they've had a lot of bad injuries, really, really meaningful injuries to that, especially to that offense. There's no reason for him to be on the hot seat after this season.
I agree.
One more year.
But you know how things work. Yeah. With certain coaches.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for some stats?
Let's do it.
Let's get some stats. All right. First one.
Tampa Bay defense. The Buccaneers have blitzed on 34.6% of opponent dropbacks this season, the fourth highest rate in the NFL, and have generated a league-leading 52.9% pressure rate when doing so. When they have rushed a defensive back and an off-ball linebacker on the same play, 10.8%, fourth highest rate in the league, they have generated a 64.4% pressure rate. These blitz strategies have helped the Buccaneers generate 66 unblocked pressures, 10 more than any other team in the NFL. You know what? I don't care. Bryce got it. All right. You blitz all you want. You send all these unblocked. You saw what he does to unblocked rushers. Ask old boy who what's his name? He was the number 2 pick for Washington out of Ohio State, and then he tore his ACL.
Chase Young.
There you go. Ask Chase Young. Ask Chase Young, who thought he had an uncontested hitter on Bryce Young, and looked up, and Bryce was gone.
Chase Young used to be the truth, man. He was the truth for like 2 years.
Blitz all you want, Tampa. Bryce got you.
All right, what we got next?
Bucky Irving. Now, this is not great. Bucky Irving has caught 88.9% of his targets this season, tied for third highest in the NFL with minimum 20 targets, and has averaged 13 yards after catch per reception, the highest mark by any player in a season since 2019. He has forced missed tackles on 50% of his receptions, third highest. The Panthers have allowed running backs 7 yards after catch per reception and have missed 9.6% of their tackles against running backs in the pass game, both of which are the fourth lowest marks in the NFL. This is bad. I thought it was going to be about his running, but he is also a very good receiver. Yeah. Bucky Irving is going to be a menace for Carolina. They have got to figure something out because their linebackers they're bad. They're not good. And Bucky Irving is very, very good, as you can see by the numbers here. So that is one thing that is going to be working against the Panthers in these two matchups, is they don't really have an answer defensively for Bucky Irving. Trayvon Merrick is going to have to play lights out. And I say Trayvon and not Lathan Ransom because we saw how he gets down when the pressure's on. Don't like that. But yeah, the middle of the field for Carolina defensively is wide open as it has been all season.
Yeah. All right.
Panthers defense has allowed 5.9 yards per attempt, second fewest in the NFL, and a 60.4% completion percentage, fifth lowest on play action passes. They have intercepted 4 play action passes, tied for fourth most, while surrendering first downs on just 29.6% of play action dropbacks this season.
Now this is where this is where they win.
Yeah,
because Baker Mayfield likes to give Baker Mayfield wants to give you the ball,
and I feel like honestly, I kind of feel like this is just because the linebackers are a step slow. Like they don't react fast enough to the fake, and they're just in position. But that's still good. You know what? That's great for that's great for the Panthers.
They mess up the offense's timing.
And but like you said, Baker but he'll throw a few interceptable passes every week, and you just have to be in position. You have to be ready, and you got to catch them.
Yeah.
Teteroa McMillan versus Jamel Dean. Teteroa. By the way, I don't know if you saw it.
Don't say it because you talking about the catch?
Yeah.
No, don't say anything yet. All
right. Teteroa McMillan has caught 38 passes for 618 yards, fourth most in the league, and 4 of his 6 touchdowns when aligned to the left side of the formation this season. His 22 downfield receptions, which is 10 plus air yards, from the left side of the NFL's second most, accounting for 468 of his receiving yards and all 4 touchdowns. Jamel Dean has aligned as the Buccaneers' right outside linebacker, opposite the left receiver, on 519 of his 546 snaps. And Dean has allowed 7 completions on 31 downfield targets, 22.6%, while intercepting 3 passes and allowing 0 touchdowns. His 6.9 downfield passer rating allowed is the lowest by any player in a season since at least 2018. That's not encouraging, but this is one of those. No, but this is one of those things where you just say, "Hey, yeah, okay, your guy's good, our guy's better."
Yeah,
and you send him down there and you throw. Or and I'm not opposed to that. Or you do what they should have been doing all season long and just put him in the slot more. He's very good in the slot as well, but again, not something that I'm overly concerned about. I understand he's a good player, a good corner. But you have to have faith in your playmakers to go out there and make plays for you.
Yeah. Now you mentioned Teteroa McMillan and you mentioned the catch. B, didn't I not say after that game that I thought they should not have turned over that call?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
you know why? Because
we talked about it this morning. So you guys, that's why you gotta watch the AM show as well. It's 6:15 a.m. The NFL privately admitted to the Panthers that replay review erroneously reversed an on-field ruling of a fourth quarter catch by Teteroa McMillan. When I saw that, I told B, they can't overturn that. And in the their official expert, that's always like, oh yeah, that was right, whatever. He was co-signing and saying, oh yeah, the replay confirms that it was that he used the ground to catch the ball. I said, that's a lie. It didn't confirm it. He caught the ball with 2 hands. The ball's allowed to touch the ground. Mm-hmm. It's allowed to touch the ground. As long as it's not moving around, you maintain control. The ball can touch the ground. Now, just because he lifted his left hand up does not mean, oh, well, it can't touch the ground. It can still touch the ground as long as you're displaying that you maintain control, and he did.
Yeah, when he rolled over and the ball came out there, like it didn't move at all. He had it secure in one hand.
Yeah. They should not have overturned that call. You can look at it and say, man, most likely he might use the ground to help him stabilize the catch, but there is no video evidence of that happening. The rule is if you show that you maintain control and you show that by the ball not moving, which the ball didn't move at all, right? That's a catch. They shouldn't have overturned that.
Yeah, they need to go back to what they did initially when they brought back instant replay, which is you have 30 seconds to make the call, right? They go under the hood, you have 30 seconds, and that's it. Because the standard is supposed to be clear and obvious, and if it takes you 2 minutes, it's not clear and obvious. You get under there, you watch the replay. and you have to see immediately that the call was wrong. It has to be, again, obvious that the call was wrong. Not, well, rewind it and give me another angle. Let's sync up the time on the replays and all. Like, no, that's not the standard of instant replay, but that's just what they do now. They need to revert back to when it was timed, and like, look, if you can't see it in that 30 seconds, it's not clear and obvious.
And this other thing here too, just Alex says it, and then the Cowards admitted they were wrong in private. Yeah, because this isn't even official, right? This is a private thing, which they also should not be allowed to do. Right? You're supposed to send an official letter saying, "Hey, my bad, I messed up." But I'm noticing that from these officials, not just the Ravens games, like in other games, like they get it wrong and they don't really want to come forward and be like, "Yeah, we missed it. You missed it. You missed it." They have been really bad.
Yeah, they're awful. You heard Puka Nacua talking about the rest. He said they're the worst. He thinks that they call penalties just to get on TV, some of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels that way. Pay the bills was good. Thanks for coming through. All right. I'm picking the Panthers to win this game, B. The Tampa Bay just they give me some weird vibes. Yes, injuries, but like I don't know, man. Like they are not the same. They don't show the same fight that they did early on in the season. I thought they were going to be one of the top teams in the league.
Yeah, and there was all that Baker for MVP talk, and that shut down real quick. No, but I'm taking Carolina in this one as well. They have been up and down. They're a young team. They are not a consistent team, but luckily, last week was a bad week. That makes this week a good one.
That's how up down works, right? You're down one week, you get the next.
Then next week against Seattle, that's going to be a bad one. But then going to be up again for Tampa Bay and to win the division. So we go to the playoffs, baby. All right,
they're up, down, up is timing perfectly with the season, with the end of the schedule.
The division, and we're gonna be hosting somebody. I hope it's Detroit. I hope it's Detroit just because of that one fan who's complaining about the NFC South getting the home playoff game. Nah, man, be better. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got Jameson Williams, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got all these guys, Aiden Hutchinson, you got Jared Goff. Why can't you just get to the playoffs and get a home game?
Yeah,
you can't beat Caleb Williams in Chicago.
I don't like that because the Lions are another team. They're supposed to be one of the top teams in the league, and right now you're on the outside looking in. They're not in the playoffs as of right now.
No.
And yes, you can say, oh well, it sucks. Like we feel like we're better than the Panthers, but you can't even say that you're better than the Panthers. The Panthers have beaten some top. Like, hey, they beat the Lions. Guess what? They beat the Rams.
Sure did.
Right. So I would chill with all that. They beat Green Bay, right? I would chill with that. We better talk like
I would chill too because you are one game better. They're 8-6. Carolina 7-7. Why are you talking? I'll tell you what. If we had Jahmyr Gibbs, we wouldn't be 7-7. We wouldn't be 8-6 either. Look inward, Detroit.
Yeah,
I ain't never been to a Super Bowl, even though you had Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders. Garbage.
Don't this.
You had guys who have arguably been the best ever at their position in Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders, and you have never been to a Super Bowl. What's that say about you? Made both of them quit early because they hated playing for you so much. But whatever. Yeah, Carolina in the NFC South is the problem. Tampa's the problem.
Matt Stafford went 12 years without winning a playoff game, leaves. First year, goes to the Super Bowl.
Matt Stafford was a certified loser until he got out of Detroit.
Yes.
1 year Super Bowl champion. And he's like the face of the league now.
And again, like this ain't the year to have that kind of talk. Like, I don't think the Lions are losers. I think they're one of the most talented teams in the league. But and this isn't coming from Lions players or anything like that. This is just fans. That's loser talk. The season ain't over. All you have to do is win. Like for a lot of these teams that are on the outside, most of them don't need help from anybody. They just need to win their games.
Right. That's why there's only 2 teams that have clinched playoff spots.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't worry about Carolina and Tampa. Go win your games.
Right. Carolina's in the position that they're in because they beat the teams that you couldn't beat.
Mm-hmm.
That's just facts.
You got Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and Chicago. Go win your games.
Yeah. Beat Pittsburgh.
Listen, if you lose any of those games, you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself because those are not difficult opponents.
Right. So, all right. Okay. We got 60 people in here. Appreciate y'all. Hit that like button. If you're new in here, hit that subscribe button. We are close to 3,000 subscribers. Also, patreon.com/LBHT Show. I wanted to mention this earlier. All the hotness going on the Overtime Show. All right. A couple weeks ago, was it last week or the week before, we talked about Sharon Moore. It feels like ages ago now. Last week we talked about Sharon Moore, the former Michigan head coach getting fired / arrested within hours of us talking about everything. And it was wild because while we were doing the show, like things were coming in real time, new developments of what's going on. And we said we would follow up on it. And there have been a lot of developments since then. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss the college playoff system, the way it's set up now, and how it can improve on it. Or, if you're like Joel Klatt, you don't like you don't like too many people in your party, not improve, make it worse. But we're going to discuss all that in the Overtime Show, which you can find on our patreon.com/LBHT Show for as little as $5 a month. That's all it is. $5 a month. And I know you got it. You got it in your pocket. Go ahead and just sign up. It'll be well worth it. We got other tiers that give you some other goodies. Go check it out right now. All right. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. If you want something for free, sign up for our newsletter, LBHTShow.com. Scroll down, put your email address in there. And, when I'm not sick or just being lazy, I'll put out a newsletter. But that's a good way to stay connected to what we do, what Hendo does on the Road Pod, what Yolanda does, what Ravens Talk with Yolanda, Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films, all your Ravens stuff, and Panthers content creators as well, right? Our guy Aaron Duncan from Unnecessary Bluntness, Rashad and Dave from Panthers Nation podcast. We put links to their stuff in there as well. So check it out. Yes, Urban says $5. Put that McDonald's and Burger King money down and give it to LBHT. You don't even gotta put it down, right? Just don't have it delivered. Don't pay the $20 in delivery fees. Okay? Don't do that. All right. Next time when the app tricks you and says, hey, this one, we'll give you a coupon for free delivery. And then you go and check out and it says $5 service fee. Right?
Yeah, but the delivery fee says $0. Delivery is free.
Just say, nah, man, you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and sign up for a month of Patreon. All right. That's you'll be a lot more fulfilled than that DoorDash order. Okay. Just get in your car and pick it up. Make the healthy choice. Yes. Make the healthy choice. But that might have to be a commercial. We might have to do a commercial on that. All right. Court of public opinion. Now, I only briefly looked up. This stemmed from a lawsuit that's going on. The person's name is Grant House, right? He's suing the NCAA, basically over like the Power Five and how it's not fair for they get these bids to go to the tournament and they're kind of like squeezing out the smaller schools. I think that's just the gist of what I'm getting, right? Mm-hmm. And Joel Klatt is asked about this. He's what is he? Does he cover college basketball?
Well, he's a college football. He's a former quarterback.
Yeah, and Joel Klatt is not a fan of the NCAA tournament, meaning he's not a fan of March Madness. Yeah. Okay, he doesn't like March Madness. He thinks it's overrated. He thinks you guys don't like March Madness. All right. And I'm going to play a clip. I edited it down for length. All right. And hopefully YouTube doesn't clip this. All right. So we're going to play this, and then you tell us what you think of it.
How important is it for Tulane or James Madison to be competitive this weekend? Is it sort of the future of an auto bid for the G5 at stake for them to look the part this weekend?
I don't think that it matters. It would help in the sentiment, the public sentiment, but these things are going to be, it will be determined by finances and litigation. And the reason the group of 5 is included in this playoff is to avoid antitrust litigation. That's it. We're not looking for a Cinderella. Nobody cares in football about James Madison or the equivalent of George Mason going. Didn't George Mason go to the Final Four or something like that? Nobody cares in football about that. We don't want Cinderellas. We want the best teams playing each other at the end. In fact, hot take. I mean, like the hottest of all takes that I've ever had in my entire life. The NCAA basketball tournament is a joke. It's the dumbest tournament and the least fair tournament in all of sports. We go and we put teams at odd times on neutral sites in a one-game affair. Like, that doesn't crown a true champion. We're not doing anything that tells us who's the best team over the course of the entire season. Like, if anything, the NCAA basketball tournament should act exactly like the old World Cup, which we should have groups. They should all get guaranteed 3 games, and they should be played at the higher seeds arena so that those seeds are rewarded for a quality game. And that way we don't just get to see, Kentucky one and done against George Mason or something like that. Well, that's stupid. That's stupid. Again, hottest of all takes, but that would make the NCAA basketball tournament far better. Neutral site, one and dones. What are we doing?
Yeah, who loves
It's funny because this is a point that I've made a lot in the past, is that nobody does want to see Cinderellas in the finals. We like Cinderellas, but we want that to stop around Sweet 16, Elite 8. And then you want the top teams to play in the championship. But he's absolutely wrong. March Madness is the best postseason. Precisely because of that. And saying it's the least fair is just, that's just big school bias. Right. If you can't go to a neutral site and beat, Coppin State, what argument do you have that you're the best? None. Right. Go where you're told to go, play who you're told to play, and beat them. If you can't do that, shut up. Right. And to say nobody cares about that in football, no, we care about it in football too. It just doesn't happen as much. But it does happen. Everybody loved the New York Giants going and beating the undefeated Patriots. Is he going to argue that people hated that?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even agree with the nobody wants to see a Cinderella win. Like, I remember when Steph Curry, we was at Davidson, they were going on a run. I think people loved to have seen them to win it all. I think he has people like him. They irritate me, right? Because they're the same ones. You see what the professional leagues do. You see what NFL does. You see what NBA does, and they're wildly successful. They make a lot of money. They get high ratings, and somehow you don't know how to do that in college, right? Then we get to college, like, well, how are we going to make this work? It's just not going to work unless we have these traditional schools playing on these big time platforms. No, the traditional schools. Here's the hot take: nobody cares about these traditional schools. Nobody cares about Kentucky. Nobody cares about Duke. Sorry, B. Nobody cares.
That's wrong.
Nobody cares about North Carolina. And this holds especially true in basketball. Nobody cares about those teams. They care about stars. They care about stars. Right?
I won't push back. People do care about the teams. You'll see higher ratings for a Duke, North Carolina, than you would just 2 random teams, even with stars. But no, I think largely you're correct in that you have to have recognizable players that people want to watch, which is something that college basketball just doesn't have right now because players, all leave after a season.
Yes. So no, you're right. Those traditional teams, those historically, good teams. Yes, if you have a superstar on those teams, higher ratings, right? Same thing in the NBA. If LeBron played his whole career with the Lakers, higher ratings. LeBron can go to any team and you're going to watch him. Him playing in Cleveland didn't hurt the league one bit, right? You need stars more than anything in basketball.
You need to know how to market.
Yes.
But no, the thing with the NCAA tournament, like I said, you have these lower seeded teams, these teams that nobody knows anything about, that come in and they upset these better schools, these better teams, and it's a lot of fun and everybody loves it. But no, he is right in that not every year you don't want to see a Cinderella make it, right? You don't want to see Wichita State and Valparaiso in the final. Well, you don't really want to see it. Every now and then, it's okay to have that. Every now and then, it's okay to have a team break through and go on a run like that. But you don't want to see it all the time. And it doesn't happen. So I'm not sure what he's arguing.
It doesn't happen. But he's kind of telling himself, because here's what's happening. He's reacting to the fact that, you don't really get those stars in college basketball anymore because those players figured it out. Right, they spent all this time not wanting to pay players, and then like, hey, you don't like it, you can play overseas. There's other options, and then those players started figuring out, yeah, there are other options. I'm actually not going to go to college, right? And now you get an influx of Euro players that, of course, are not going to go to college. That's asinine for them. Like they actually go to school for basketball in their countries, and then they go pro. This idea of college sports is ridiculous to them. And yes, the talent isn't there. And what he's calling Cinderella teams are actually the better teams, right? When Wichita State beats Kentucky in the first round, that's not a Cinderella story. They're just a better team.
Yeah, because what happens is they've got 4-year guards against a team full of freshmen that don't know what they're doing in that first round of the playoff, in the tournament, and they get beat because they just got there. They don't know what's going on. But yeah, they're not recognized as the better team. But if you apply it to football, I don't think there's any argument there. Football fans would love to see a smaller school go on a run. They just don't believe it'll happen. And the NCAA football largely excludes them, so you don't, it doesn't feel like a realistic thing. So when you put in James Madison and Tulane, you feel like you're wasting those spots. But with the entire landscape of college football changing, college sports really, where you can pay players to come to your school, there are going to be some of those smaller schools that are able to collect talent and make runs. And fans will absolutely want to see that.
Yeah. Young brother says if he had it his way, Maryland wouldn't have won that NCAA championship. They didn't have any stars on that team.
They had stars on the team, but yeah.
Pay the Bill says March Madness is damn near perfection. Like people get the brackets for the Cinderella teams. They're looking for the upsets.
Yeah.
Right. And
it's similar to the Super Bowl where it draws in people who have no interest in the sport.
And I can't he's a traditionalist. He wants things to be a certain way. He only wants the top teams to, the brand name teams to be in the mix because that's messing up his viewing experience. But this idea of, it's not fair competition to play at a neutral site against a small team. Like,
I love that. I love that. It's only fair if the bigger school gets to play at home.
He thinks that's not a good indication of who the best teams are. No, that's how tournaments work. That's how playoffs work. If you have a bad day and you lose, then you go home. You weren't the best team.
Well, yeah, right? and it's funny because if Alabama beat Georgia in the playoffs, he wouldn't have that take that Georgia's better and they just had a bad day. It's only if it's a team he doesn't expect to win, then it's unfair.
Yeah. That's all it is, and that's ridiculous. If you're the better team,
you know what I think? Win. I think a 3-loss Alabama team being in the playoffs, having lost by double digits to Florida State, who's garbage, being in the playoffs over a BYU team who only lost to the number 4 team in the country, I think that's unfair. How about BYU gets to take Alabama's spot if we want to talk about fairness, as opposed to just, hey, which of these schools has a bigger fan base? Let's bring them in.
Now, we're going to talk about Sharon Moore in a overtime show, and I was watching this. It was actually on ESPN. It had a few reporters kind of breaking down what was going on with it and everything. But something that the guy said at the end, I just had to chuckle, man, because he was just basically saying how, the way college football is now, Bo Schembechler would be turning in his, like he said he would be sick to his stomach if he was around today to see, how things are, because, now with Sharon Moore leaving, their star quarterback that they just recruited, I forget, Underwood or something like that.
Yeah, stolen. The kid that they had, the guy that they had stealing signs, Underwood. The guy that they had stealing signs went, after they got rid of him in Michigan, went to coach that kid's high school team, and he flipped him from LSU to Michigan. You stole him.
So, but he's just like, now. People are like, oh well, who's gonna come steal him? That's what he said. Oh, who's gonna come offer him more money to go? And like it shouldn't be that way. Excuse me, it shouldn't be that way. So you're telling me a kid who signed up to go play for Sharon Moore is now Moore is fired, shouldn't get the choice to stay or go somewhere else?
Yeah, that is what they're saying, because they don't care what the athletes want.
Yeah.
Slim
Smith says, I'm late, but I'm here. Salute to you. Salute. Thanks for coming through. That is ridiculous. Just how it says that fool really thinks a neutral site is somehow oppression. Yeah. Pay the bill says, my mother gets excited about 3 sporting events a year: Super Bowl, the Grey Cup, and March Madness. That tells me everything I need to know. Facts.
Take the Grey Cup off of there.
That's a big deal in Canada.
Yeah, in Canada, it sure is, to all 10 of them.
Don't hate.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
Joe Clapp represents a certain breed of fans, college sports fans, and college sports, like those hardcore college sports fans that think along that way, like that's just their brains are broken. They don't think logically. It is the same. He's one of those people. I'm pretty sure if I go and look, he's one of those people that was against students getting paid, and he said it's going to be Armageddon. This is going to be the end of college sports and all that. And the reality is, because basketball didn't pay them soon enough, that ended your sport, right? Because they were, before they said, okay, we'll let these NIL deals fly. College basketball was already going downhill because players figured out how to get paid without going through that ridiculous system.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why they're struggling to this day. Right. because they can't rip the Band-Aid off and say, man, let's just kick out the money and keep these guys here. Hey, David, what's going on? Thanks for coming through, man. That's my old high school buddy, man. A good friend of mine. Appreciate you coming through. But yeah, so that's what he's salty about. When he says we don't want to see Cinderella teams, those aren't actual Cinderella teams. These are teams that they've been together for 3 or 4 years. These players been together. They know how to play cohesive basketball better than these one and done teams, and those are actually the better teams that you're seeing when you go into the tournament. They know how to win these games. That team with one star that's only there for a cup of coffee, and doesn't have any cohesion with the rest of the team, that team is the lesser team, and that's what he's mad about.
Yeah.
So, all right, do we have any submitted questions?
Let me see. I don't believe so, but let me check real quick. In the meantime, why don't you remind them that this is, in fact, our last live Wednesday show of the year.
Yes. Last live show of the year. There will be some recorded episodes, so stay tuned. Turn your notification bells on, and you know how we do it. On Wednesdays, we'll put it out at the same time as the live show. It'll just be recorded, so keep that in mind. We'll put it as a premiere, so the chat will still be open. You'll see us in the chat, so show up, share it with your friends, family, and loved ones. All right, and listen to Danity in the chat. Danity says, hit the like and subscribe button every Wednesday night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time for more Ravens and Panthers content. Super chat is available. Cash App, $ LBHT Show, and hashtag road to 3K. Please subscribe. We're so close. Yes, we are close to 3,000 subscribers. Really appreciate y'all and the support that you've given us here recently. It's been great. It's been great.
We do have one submitted question from AKA Young Wild. Thank you very much. He says, there's a narrative that's bothered me for years, and it's been resurfacing with Lamar this year. I've seen people say he's going to end up like Cam Newton, the claim being that Cam lost his athleticism and his play fell off a cliff. But I don't think that's true. Cam never lost his athleticism. He rushed for 600 yards and 12 touchdowns with the Patriots. The shoulder injury is what got him. Do you guys think this is as common of an occurrence as people act like with athletic quarterbacks?
First, before we answer that, let me give a shout out to Damian's nephew. He said my little nephew wanted to say hi. Hey, what's going on, little nephew? So this is a long-standing history with black quarterbacks. Historically, they are always deemed not cerebral, and that was a common thing with black quarterbacks. They say they're not as cerebral, right? Just that's code for, hey, we just don't think you're smart enough to play the position, or we just don't want you to be the face of the position. And yes, you have quarterbacks that are athletic, but they can also play the game. But because they're athletic, coaches in their minds want to put them in different positions. Right, they don't want to put them at quarterback because they don't fit that mold of what they see of as a quarterback. Right, so what happens is you get an athletic quarterback that is like, no, I'm a quarterback. I don't want to play wide receiver. I don't want to play DB. I want to play quarterback. That's what I do. And they go to a team, and that coach wants to run option or just have them use the legs as much as he can with that quarterback, and not really develop him as a quarterback, as a passer. And they rely on their athleticism. And when their athleticism takes a dip, then they just discard them because then like, oh, well, he can't make the reads and all that stuff. He's getting sacked too many times because we didn't really invest in the O-line. We didn't really invest in talent or anything like that around him. He's not the guy. We got to move on. His legs are trash. And you still see that to today, right? There's still remnants of that, which is why you still see people saying, hey, how come Lamar's not running? Why do you still want Lamar to run when he's one of the best passers in the league?
Right.
Why are we still talking about that? Right? Because he's a black quarterback.
Right. It's not a thing that we ask of other quarterbacks, regardless of how athletic they are.
When Josh Allen's athleticism fails him, because Josh Allen is on that trajectory, that Cam Newton trajectory, where his body's going to break down. Right? But we're not going to question that about Josh Allen. And Josh Allen is an excellent passer too. Yeah. But when he's not able to do the things that he's doing with his legs, it'll be okay. He won't get that same criticism.
Yeah, and Young Wild is right. It wasn't even the athleticism breaking down. Like, obviously, as you age, you're not as athletic. But it was the shoulder injury that really robbed Cam of the second half of his career. I do think that Lamar is going down the Cam Newton route, like we've talked about before, where the organization just does a terrible job of building around him. And so his legacy is going to suffer because of that. But it's not going to be, oh, man, he can't run anymore. This guy sucks. He's already shown you that he's one of the greatest passers of all time in the NFL.
Yeah. All right. Is that the only one? We got another one?
Yes. Nope, that is it.
All right. That's it. We had a good time today.
Yeah, that's all I'm talking about. 2026.
If you want to keep this going, we're going to head over to the Overtime Show, which you can find on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT Show for as little as $5 a month. I know you got $5 in your pocket. I know you do. What's going on, E? Appreciate you coming through. Sign up, or if you just want to pay for the individual episode, I think it's like $3. All right, so come and check it out. We're going to be talking some more college football, particularly Sharon Moore, the former Michigan head coach, and all the stuff that's been going on with that. So there's a lot. Okay, so check it out. And anything else that you want to bring up, we're going to be bringing that up on the Overtime Show. So Patreon members, channel members, get ready. Overtime Show is starting in a few minutes. B, are you ready?
Ready.
Adelia, you ready? Adelia is ready. Y'all have a great night. Happy holidays. Turn your notification bells on. There'll be some videos coming out on Wednesdays. Just won't be live, but check it out. All right, y'all. We out of here. Have a great night. Peace.